double checked with Senator Slama, only Maryland does this. Only Maryland also does this. It doesn't work for Nebraska. You know how this is going to hurt small businesses in Nebraska in small towns? It's really going to hurt your small towns. If I lived in a town in rural Nebraska of a couple hundred people, and you know what I would do is I would own a store, because that's the only thing I know how to do. That's my job. I'm a shop lady. I own stores. I start stores and I sell things to people. In order for that store to be successful in my small town, I would probably have to have an online component to that. And that's something that I would use to grow my business. I would use it to grow the business so that I could do local pickups for local customers who wanted to buy online, but come pick it up in the store. I would use it to have delivery for people who bought locally and needed someone to come bring it to them, especially in these communities where we don't have DoorDash and GoPuff and things like that. I would also, of course, use the online business to reach customers in Omaha or Denver or Los Angeles or Beijing or wherever around the world, so that my small business in my small town in Nebraska could thrive. And if I live in a town of 200 people, I don't have to just depend on the income of those 200 people to keep my business alive. When I was growing up in Blair, Nebraska, the population was about 5,000 people. And now it's about 10,000. It's much more of almost a suburb of Omaha. It's not the small insulated town that it was when I was growing up. When I grew up in that town, we had a vibrant arts community. We had a community theater, which is how my parents met each other, in theater. We had stores on our main street. We had stationery shop and several clothing stores and little specialty gift shops and a thrift store and several hardware stores, more than one, all locally owned, no chains. And that's what a lot of your communities are like today. Blair is not like that anymore. Blair lost their college, Dana College, that's no longer there. They gained a Walmart, and they lost their Main Street business. Bills like, with the provisions contained in LB 388 to tax on digital advertising for small businesses is one of the factors that puts your main streets in small town Nebraska out of business. When someone's starting a shop in a small town that's trying to contribute to their local economy, trying to stay in business as an entrepreneur, which is what we're trying to encourage here in Nebraska, doing something they love and are passionate about, like me, like the women at eCreamery, like thousands of other Nebraskans, and then we tax on what they have to do to grow their business. This is not friendly to business. This is not friendly to small towns in Nebraska. And when I look at the populations leaving these towns in Nebraska, LB 388 isn't going to help that at all. I think that you need to be a green vote on FA 444 so we can get this digital advertising provision out of this bill. Once again, only Maryland is the other state that has a policy like this. It's not right for Nebraska because our small towns, our small businesses do not need to be taxed more on advertising that they need to grow, especially when our state has limited population. Thank you, Mr. President.